can't handle the truth.
The whole story of Manson's wrong. What it's really about is the CIA giving LSD to hippies. He was one of the guys they experimented with. It was all part of the MK Ultra experiments. 100%. Because he kept getting out of jail easy. The sheriffs would all say the same thing. This is above my pay grade. He was involved in murders. He was involved in robbery. All kinds of crazy shit. They let him out of jail.
And they were just giving him acid?
Not only did they give him acid, they taught him how to use acid to manipulate people and convince them to commit murders.
Wow.
Yeah, the CIA trained Charles Manson.
How he was doing wild shit and the CIA would let him go.
Yeah.
Or how he was out here at that ranch. People would go, dude, he's doing wild shit, arrest him. They're like, we're told not to touch him. You're like, what?
Yeah. They killed the caretaker at that ranch. They didn't find that guy's body until the late 70s. Charles Manson was a part of some sort of a program, using him and using with LSD and all the members of the family. They were turning them violent. Back then, they would dose people up with acid and get the hippies to go murder people. They're like, this is a great way to crack down on the anti-war movement. Great way to crack down on the hippies. Get everybody terrified of this young movement of these flower children. And they're not so peaceful after all. Matter of fact, they're fucking murderers. They literally got a murderer in prison, got a crazy psychopath in Charles Manson, taught him how to run a cult, taught him how to control people with LSD, supplied him with LSD, and sent him out in the world. They did a lot of shit in the 1970s with drugs and people for experiments. Yeah. The 60s and the 70s, and that's how they created the Unabomber, man. Ted Kaczynski was a part of the Harvard LSD program. When he was going to school at Harvard, they were doing these LSD studies.
Was it like MK Ultra?
Theodore Kaczynski, who later became known as the Unabomber, was one of the 22 participants in Murray's study, subjected to several years of interrogations designed to psychologically break the young man.
Like he's on the heels of his brain barely being
And they're dosing
formed.
him with acid and trying to break him psychologically.
But before the rap sheet, Ted was a young Harvard student, enrolling in the Ivy League school on a scholarship at just 16 years old. Kaczynski was a mathematical whiz who was also unlucky enough to be, according to him, pressured into partaking in Murray's experiments.
Age of 16, full scholarship. His family thought this was going to be the beginning of a great future.
When Ted arrives at college, it's nothing like what he had dreamed of.
Ted basically became a guinea pig in an ethically dubious psychological experiment conducted by Dr. Henry Murray.
CIA program called MK Ultra. The goal, learn how to control and even reprogram people's minds. The CIA believes LSD might hold the key.
You know what the CIA really dreamed of? A drug you could give to someone, get them to commit all sorts of unspeakable acts, and they wake up the next day and they don't remember what they've done.
The full video is 60 minutes long on my Patreon. If you would like to support my channel, join my Patreon for only $5 for exclusive documentaries you won't find on YouTube. Link will be in the description.
Please subscribe with notifications on.